Week 13 of the fantasy football season. Here's the top 12 defense DST units I'm ranking this week. Number 1, the Seattle Seahawks. So this week, a great matchup. Minnesota Vikings coming into the 12th man. And their offense has been a mess the majority of the season. So right now, J.J. McCarthy, he's concussed. We don't know if he's going to play in this game. But if it's McCarthy or Max Brosmer, I think the Seattle defense is going to get pressure early and often. And we know they create a lot of turnovers as well this season. So this week it's a great matchup with Minnesota coming in. Number 2, the Denver Broncos. So the Broncos coming off a bye, going to Washington. Jaden Daniels still not going to return in this ball game, even though he's going to practice this week for this Washington Commander team. And this Bronco defense with Nick Bodito, obviously Patrick Surtain in the secondary. They got the pass rush. They got the corner, obviously. And this week, like I said, at the Commanders, even though Terry McLaurin might return to the lineup in this one, I think this Bronco team goes out there and puts up a good game. Number 3, the Los Angeles Rams. So the Rams defense, they make your offense one-dimensional once they go up with a big lead. And I expect the same in this one. Go up 10, 14 points early. And that's where Verse and the rest of this defense tease off opposing quarterbacks. And the secondary's been playing well. So Carolina last week, they didn't do much at San Francisco. And I think this Los Angeles Ram team could go out there, get pressure early and often, and make plays in this one. Number 4, the Los Angeles Chargers. So the Chargers coming off a bye. Khalil Mack a little more healthier going into this ball game. And this week it's a slam dunk matchup versus the Vegas Raiders, where Geno Smith, he's been one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the league this season, holding on to the football way too long, taking big hits and turning the football over left and right. So this week I think Los Angeles, coming off the bye, like I said, takes care of business and has a good game defensively. Number 5, the Houston Texans. So the Texans, one of the better defenses in the league and arguably the best defense. Last week, 8 sacks on Josh Allen, holding down that high-powered offense of Buffalo. And this week, they're going into Indianapolis, where it's a division game, and I think this could be a grinded-out type of game between these two teams. So they get to the quarterback with Anderson and Danielle Hunter. Houston Texan team, they got one of the better corners in the league and underrated corners in Derek Stingley. So with all those factors, I think this week the Texans in a division matchup go out there and have a good game. Number 6, the Philadelphia Eagles. So this Eagle DST, even though it was a bad ball game last week, up 21-0, couldn't hold it and lost 24-21 to the Dallas Cowboys. I think they bounce back in this one. Caleb Williams is not a quarterback that's better than Dak Prescott, that if the Eagles get off to a lead, I don't think Williams is going to do much in this game. And Williams, he's taking some hits. He's not accurate with the football. He's still going to turn it over at times. And I think Philadelphia, they're going to have a chip on their shoulder after last week. They let that game go and take it out on Chicago. Coming in on Black Friday this week, number 7, the New England Patriots. This Patriot DST, one of the better DSTs underrated on the season. They create a lot of turnovers. They get to the quarterback, and we're winning, obviously, 9 in a row. This offense gets off to a good start, and it makes it easier to play defense when you know what the other team is going to do, throwing the football, trying to play catch-up. So we'll see if it's Jackson Dart or Jameis Winston this week for this New York Giant team. But either way, I think New England, they're going to go out there, they're going to get their sacks, they're going to hold this Giant team in the mid-teens, low 20s, I think, in this one as well. And also, with Mike Vrabel as the head coach and a defensive-minded coach as well, this defense has been good all season long. Number 8, the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the Jags D, they'll get sacks, they'll create some turnovers, they'll give up points. But this week at the Tennessee Titans, I don't see Tennessee scoring a lot of points in this ball game. So the Jaguars, they're playing decent football of late. Obviously, like I said, they're going to get to the quarterback. And we saw a couple weeks ago versus a high-powered Charger offense coming to Jacksonville. They shut them down. So this week at Tennessee, I think this defense will go out there once again, have a good ball game. Number 9, the Francisco 49ers. So the 49ers defense, they're still flying out there. They're still getting to the quarterback and making plays. And this week it's a good matchup at the Cleveland Browns. Shedeur Sanders is going to get his second start of his NFL career. Last week he made some plays with Shedeur Sanders. But like I said, this offense doesn't really have much going. Quinshon Judkins, obviously, and Harold Fanning, the only 2 guys you really got to worry about. Jerry Jeudy hasn't done much all season long. Isaiah Bond hasn't done much, and Cedric Tillman's been banged up a majority of the season and hasn't done much. So with Robert Sauer back as a defensive coordinator this season, this defense, even with Nick Bosa and Fred Warner out for the season, are going out there and making big plays. Number 10, the Cleveland Browns. So this Brown defense, they get to the quarterback, obviously, with the best pass rusher in the league in Myles Garrett with 18 sacks already through 12 weeks of the NFL season. And Brock Purdy last week was a turnover machine. He threw 3 interceptions in that game versus the Carolina Panthers. And like I said, with Myles Garrett pass rushing, Purdy's going to take some hits in this ball game. And this could be a grinded out game. Even though San Francisco's getting healthy over the last couple weeks, I still think this Cleveland Brown defense is a top 10 option. Number 11, the Atlanta Falcons. So the Falcons is a 1 week streaming option, is a good option at the New York Jets. This Jet team, they don't got much going on offensively. Tyrod Taylor is the starting quarterback now for this New York Jet team. And also as well, Garrett Wilson's been out over the last few weeks, even though John Mechie, I thought, is filled in decently for this Jet team. But Atlanta, they do give up points, but they get to the quarterback as well, amongst the league leaders in sacks this season, and they do create some turnovers. So this week, I think Atlanta is a decent option for fantasy owners. Fourth and final DST I'm ranking is the Indianapolis Colts. So this Colt defense, I thought last week did a decent job versus Patrick Mahomes and the high-powered Kansas City offense, even though they lost the game in overtime. 23-20 was the Indianapolis Colts, but they could get to the quarterback. CJ Stroud, it hasn't been a good year for him, and coming off injury as well and a concussion, he might be a little hesitant in this ball game, is CJ Stroud. So I think Indianapolis, after coming off the bad loss and a decent matchup versus the Texans, where if they could lock in and shut down Nico Collins the majority of the game, that's going to take a lot out of this offense and putting points on the board in this one. So I think Indianapolis this week, like I said, after the bad loss and a mediocre offense in Houston coming in, they're a good start this week. So that's the top 12 defense DST units I'm ranking for week 13 of the fantasy football season.